For more than 5 decades, Christopher Walken has been one of Hollywood's most captivating and unpredictable actors. We know the voice, that halting, melodic cadence that has launched 1,000 impressions. We know the mannerisms, a unique blend of unsettling stillness and sudden, explosive energy. We know the iconic roles, characters permanently etched into the landscape of cinema. But just when we thought we had him figured out, at 82 years old, he's entered a chapter of his life that absolutely no one saw coming. He's always been a man of quiet contradictions. The same actor who chilled us to the bone in The Deer Hunter could charm us with a soft shoe shuffle in a music video. The man who played terrifying villains was also a beloved recurring host of Saturday Night Live. But his latest moves are on another level entirely. From a stunning new venture that has the entire fashion world buzzing to a long-held, wonderfully bizarre secret about his greatest acting inspiration, the man we thought we knew is about to surprise us all over again. There's something Christopher Walken has been hiding for most of his career. It's not a dark secret or a scandal, but a truth so strange, so wonderfully weird, that it reframes everything we know about him. It's the key that unlocks the mystery of his genius. And what he's revealing now, in the twilight of his legendary career, changes everything. Before we can get to the shocking left turns Christopher Walken has taken at 82, we have to understand the man he's been for the past 60 years. His entire life has been a series of unconventional choices, a masterclass in defying expectations. The enigma we see today wasn't built overnight. It was forged in the strange and wondrous fires of a life lived completely on his own terms. It all started not in Hollywood, but in Astoria, Queens. Born Ronald Walken to a German immigrant father who ran a local bakery and a Scottish immigrant mother, Ronnie, as he was then known, was pushed toward the stage from a young age. His mother, who had her own dreams of stardom, got him and his 2 brothers, Kenneth and Glenn, work as child actors in the burgeoning world of 1950s live television. This wasn't the polished, pre-recorded world of Hollywood. This was a chaotic, high-pressure environment. He recalls being on a huge number of live shows broadcast from New York, a nearly unthinkable schedule today. He and other kids were often used as furniture, as he puts it, living set dressing for the golden age of TV. But even as he was appearing on screen, his true passion was movement. His mother sent her boys to dancing school, where young Ronnie learned ballet, tap, and acrobatics. It wasn't just a hobby, it was his first language as a performer. He wasn't an actor who could dance. He was a dancer who, by his own admission, fell into acting. This is perhaps the first and most fundamental misunderstanding of Christopher Walken. The rhythm of his performances, the strange pauses, and unexpected bursts of physicality aren't just an actor's choice. They're the instincts of a dancer. He thinks and acts with his feet. His teen years only added to the legend. At 15, inspired by a magazine photo of Elvis Presley, he adopted the signature pompadour he's more or less kept his entire life. Then, in a move that seems ripped from a movie script, at age 16, he took a summer job as a lion tamer's apprentice in a circus. He has described the lion, a lioness named Sheba, as an older, docile animal that was more like a dog. Still, the image is indelible, a teenage Christopher Walken in a custom-made tailcoat presenting a lioness to a crowd. It was his first taste of commanding a stage with a presence that was both captivating and slightly dangerous. He briefly attended Hofstra University, but dropped out after a year for a role in an off-Broadway musical. It was during this time that Ronnie became Christopher. A performer he worked with, Monique Van Voren, simply decided he looked more like a Christopher, and he agreed. Just like that, with a new name and a dancer's foundation, the man we know today began to take shape. This foundation is crucial to understanding the next piece of the puzzle, his voice. The famous Walken cadence is one of the most imitated speech patterns in modern culture. Where did it come from? Walken himself chalks it up to the sound of Queens. filtered through his unique upbringing. He grew up hearing the European accents of his German father and Scottish mother, which gave his own speech an unusual rhythm from the start. Add the formal training of theater and his innate dancer's timing, and you get a delivery that is utterly his own. It's not an act, it's an autobiography. When he transitioned to film, he brought this whole strange package with him. His small but unforgettable part in Woody Allen's 1977 masterpiece, Annie Hall, was a lightning bolt. As Dwayne, the title character's deeply strange brother, he delivered a chilling monologue about the temptation of driving into oncoming traffic. It was hilarious, terrifying, and utterly magnetic. Hollywood took notice. Just 1 year later, he delivered the performance that would define his career and win him an Academy Award. As Nick Chevatarovich in The Deer Hunter, Walken was a revelation. He portrayed the psychological destruction of war with a haunting emptiness that culminated in the film's legendary Russian roulette scenes. The look in his eyes was unforgettable. He had become a star. Looming over this incredible career, however, has always been the shadow of one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries, the night Natalie Wood died. Walken was a guest on the yacht with Wood and her husband, Robert Wagner, that fateful night in 1981. He has consistently cooperated with authorities and has rarely spoken of the incident, maintaining it was a tragic accident. The event has inevitably added to his public persona as a man of secrets, a heavy burden that has followed him for decades. So we have the dancer, the child actor, the lion tamer, the Oscar winner, and the pop culture icon. For decades, it seemed like that was the full picture. But at 82, Walken has torn up the rule book once again, beginning with his most unexpected role to date. The world of high fashion is a strange, fickle beast. It's a universe built on youth, on what's next. It is, by all accounts, the very last place you'd expect to find an 82-year-old actor best known for playing traumatized vets and crime lords. And yet, in the winter of 2025, that is precisely where the world found Christopher Walken, staring out from billboards and glossy magazine pages. He had become the face of Saint Laurent. The announcement sent a ripple of delightful confusion through both the fashion and entertainment industries. Christopher Walken for Saint Laurent? It was a move no one saw coming, but it was very, very cool. To get the magnitude of this, you have to understand the brand. Saint Laurent has always been the epitome of Parisian cool, built on rebellion and a kind of sophisticated rock and roll sensuality, and into this world stepped Christopher Walken. The campaign, shot by photographer Glenn Luchford, is a masterwork of mood. In it, Walken is juxtaposed with the much younger actor Aaron Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson is all youthful energy, while Walken is the embodiment of calm wisdom and refined ease. Dressed in sharply tailored minimalist pieces, he commands the frame with an unhurried quietness. His gaze is piercing. He doesn't need to do much. His life, his career, his very face do the work. One publication noted he possesses a silent command over the lens, but there's an even deeper layer here. The campaign is a direct homage to the work of the legendary and controversial photographer Robert Mapplethorpe, who shot for Saint Laurent himself in 1983. Luchford's photographs of Walken are a stunning echo of Mapplethorpe's famous self-portraits. The lighting, the sculptural poses, and the direct, steely gaze are all deliberate nods. This isn't just a random artistic reference. It's a profound statement. By linking Walken to Mapplethorpe, Saint Laurent isn't just saying Walken is cool, it's positioning him within a lineage of bold, uncompromising artists who challenged conventions. For Walken, this is perhaps his most unexpected role. He isn't playing a character, he's embodying an idea. At 82, an age when most are fading from the public eye, Christopher Walken stepped into the heart of the youth-obsessed fashion world and proved that true style has no age limit. It was a jaw-dropping reinvention, and yet, it was only the first of his recent revelations. If the Saint Laurent campaign was a public declaration of Christopher Walken's enduring cool, the next revelation was a quiet, almost whispered confession. It's the key to the central mystery of his career. Where does that strange, captivating energy come from? The answer, when it finally came, was more wonderfully absurd than anyone could have imagined. The bombshell dropped during a conversation with his Severance director and co-star, Ben Stiller. As Stiller later recounted on the Severance podcast, Walken confided in him that his single greatest acting inspiration, the secret influence behind many of his most iconic performances, was Bugs Bunny. Stiller said, "Walken said that Bugs Bunny is one of his favorite actors ever." Then came the part that changes how you see every one of his films. Stiller continued, Walken said, "A lot of times I've played roles as if I was Bugs Bunny, but nobody knew. Let that sink in. The man who played the terrifyingly hollowed-out Nick in The Deer Hunter. The man who delivered the menacing Gold. Watch." Monologue in Pulp Fiction. He might have been channeling a wise-cracking, carrot-chomping cartoon rabbit. At first, it sounds preposterous, but the more you think about it, the more it transforms into a stroke of utter genius. This isn't even the first time he's mentioned it. In a 2001 interview, he raved about the character. "He's so smart, he's so funny, he's got such a great attitude," Walken said. "Bugs Bunny is the spirit of New York. You can't fool Bugs Bunny. He's on to everybody." To really get it, you have to analyze Bugs as an archetype. Who is he? He's the ultimate trickster. He's almost always an underdog facing off against bullies. Yet, he never loses. He wins not with force, but with superior intellect, wit, and unflappable confidence. He's a master of disguise and a brilliant improviser. He's always one step ahead. Now think about Walken's most memorable characters. Think of his terrifyingly calm mobster in True Romance. He sits there, utterly serene, and verbally dismantles his opponent with a story, a cool, intellectual cruelty. That's a Bugs Bunny move, or the iconic gold watch scene in Pulp Fiction. As Captain Coons, he delivers the absurd story with such deadpan seriousness. But there's a twinkle there. He's performing in complete control of the room. Even in his most dramatic roles, you can see the influence. The core of Bugs Bunny's appeal is his attitude. He's never truly scared or intimidated. He assesses every situation with a cool, detached wit. That is the essence of so many of Walken's characters. They seem to be operating on a different wavelength, observing the chaos with an amused calm before they choose to act. This revelation does something extraordinary. It tells us his method isn't some dark, tortured journey. It's a playful, imaginative act of translation. He found a perfect archetype for the clever outsider, the charming manipulator, the unflappable survivor, and he found it in a cartoon. For fans, it was both a shock and a confirmation. As one commenter noted online, "It all makes sense now." And it does. The playful menace, the blend of comedy and threat, the sense that he's always performing. It was all there, right in front of us. We just didn't know to call it Bugs Bunny. So what do we do with these two revelations? On one hand, Walken, the high-fashion icon, channeling a controversial art house photographer for Saint Laurent. On the other, Walken, the acting theorist, secretly modeling his performances on a cartoon rabbit. One is high art, the other is pop culture. How can one man contain both? The answer is that they aren't contradictions at all. They're two sides of the same uniquely brilliant coin. Both the fashion campaign and the Bugs Bunny confession reveal a man who is a profound master of persona and archetype. The fashion campaign is about embodying an external archetype, the timeless man, curated by a brand and photographer. He uses his presence to project wisdom and quiet power. The Bugs Bunny confession is about the secret source of his internal archetypes. It's the key to the characters he creates from the inside out. Bugs represents the clever trickster, giving his performances their signature blend of menace and humor. Both showcase an artist who understands performance on a deep level. He knows that acting, whether for a fashion campaign or a film, is about projecting a powerful, coherent idea. The Saint Laurent campaign is the finished artwork on the gallery wall. The Bugs Bunny method is the secret blueprint that makes the art so compelling. This is why, at 82, Christopher Walken is more fascinating than ever. In an age of oversharing, he remains a true enigma. His recent revelations haven't diminished his mystery. They've deepened it. They show that behind the intense stare is a thoughtful, playful, and deeply intelligent artist who has spent a lifetime mastering his craft in the most unconventional ways. He has never been afraid to be weird. From working as a lion tamer to dancing in Hairspray, from winning an Oscar to hosting Saturday Night Live 7 times, he has built a career on defying categorization. His legacy isn't just in his films or awards. It's the idea that you can be a serious artist without taking yourself too seriously. It's the idea that inspiration can be found anywhere. For 50 years, we've watched Christopher Walken, mesmerized by his talent, unnerved by his intensity, and delighted by his strangeness. We thought we had a handle on him. He was the dancer, the villain, the comedian, the icon. But just when we thought the story was written, he added his most surprising chapters yet. At 82, an age where most have retreated into their own legend, Christopher Walken stepped back into the spotlight, not as a nostalgia act, but as a vital contemporary force. He reinvented himself as a high-fashion muse for Saint Laurent, his face a testament to a life of artistic integrity. And then, with a quiet confession, he gave us the key to his genius, Bugs Bunny, the trickster rabbit, as his ultimate acting guide. These were not the revelations of a man winding down. They were the bold, brilliant moves of an artist still at the peak of his powers, still playing, still finding new ways to surprise us. He reminded us that you never really know an icon, that there are always more layers to peel back. Christopher Walken isn't just an actor. He's a cultural phenomenon, a living testament to a life lived on one's own terms. He has never stopped dancing, and thankfully for us, it seems he never will. What's your favorite Christopher Walken moment? Can you see the Bugs Bunny influence in some of his most iconic roles? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into a true Hollywood legend, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the spotlight.